Hello, everybody. My name is will-o-wispy, and today I'm going to be talking about my experience with watching the movie that is Iron Lung. Yes, I watched it in the theaters at like 1 a.m. after work. Haha. So I went into this movie blind. Blind as in I have not seen any social media postings about this. I have not even bother reading the description of the movie that the movie websites kindly provided for people while you're trying to book the ticket. And no, I have not even seen anybody play the video game, nor played the video game myself. So without further ado, spoilers alert. This is gonna be my experience with the movie. So if you have not watched the game or the movie itself, I suggest you turn away from this video. So, what is Iron Lung about? Well, from my experience, it is a eldritch, eldritch sci-fi question mark apocalyptic horror because they talk about themes of like the end of humanity, the end of the last tree not the tree of Eden. It's definitely some kind of the last tree. Perhaps it's talking about the last tree on Earth. They also talked about how many stars and planets have lost their light and died out. Perhaps it has something to do with the sun dying out. Because, well, they have not said anything about the sun, but they definitely mention quite a bit of instances where like the stars and the moons, the planets, stars and the planets like die out, and Markiplier's character, to which I already forgotten the name of, Victor, I believe. Let me just Google it real quick. I'm gonna Google it real quick right now. Yeah, let me just do this real quick. Simon. Sorry, Simon. Yeah, the character is called Simon. Yeah, yeah. The character that Mark played is called Simon. Yes. Um. Yeah. Yes, I do not have the best memory. Anyway, Simon. We don't find out about this character's name until much later in the movie, but we are introduced to Simon, who is played by Markiplier, a convict by some remnants of humanity. He is convicted to be welded into this submarine, I believe. Submarine with treads, maybe. Yeah, let's just call it submarine for now. Yeah, the submarine submarine in order to go into the deepest depths of an ocean of blood in order to find something. We don't know what, but to find something that perhaps helps with the current state of humanity, as we find out little bit by bit from around the ocean. No, bit by bit while exploring the ocean of blood. When I say ocean of blood, and I do mean literal blood. Uh, literal human blood. It is confirmed that it is human blood. That has some weird sentient properties. I don't know how to explain it well. There is a monster. There is a giant sea monster, if you could call it, because it's swimming in the sea of blood. So Simon Markiplier is in the submarine. He was convicted of, by the dialogue of the movie, potentially blowing up an entire refuge space station kind of location. Um, he's convicted to do it, even though he exclaimed many times that he didn't do it. He was trying to stop his kind of like a cult, the Eden, the Tree of Eden or something, some kind of cult. That this character grew up in, from as a young child. And then he got abandoned by his brothers and sisters, and pretty much became a scapegoat, a person to blame for the destruction for some bastion of some of the last bastions of humanity, kind of a space station, maybe either a space or like kind of a settlement, um like possibly above the Sea of Blood. Maybe the settlements of humanity are resorted to just settle like places floating on Sea of Blood, perhaps some kind of like stations. Because this is Iron Lung is a movie, at least by the lore of, that I get from the movie, it is a post-apocalyptic setting where a lot of humanity is already gone, and they're trying, and the last bit of humanity have a lot of mouth to feed, but not enough, uh, not enough resources to feed everyone, and they're trying to find a way to save humanity, even though a lot of people perhaps feel that it's hopeless. There's no point in trying to do anything anymore, even if they still have the means to um like travel through the Sea of Blood by ships and sending expedition submarines down in the depths with technology such as radiation, X-ray photography, which is a big factor, a big factor when it comes to the gameplay mechanic, or the movie mechanic of like building tension, because you in the submarine, we the viewer, just like Simon, Markiplier, we don't get to see what's outside of the submarine. We only get to see what's outside of the submarine, by the photographs snapped by the submarine by the press of a button on the wall. And most of the time early on, Markiplier Simon is only, I'm just gonna keep saying Markiplier. Markiplier's character basically was initially tasked to just record what he finds based on the coordinates given by uh his captors, his the ship people. All right, go to these coordinates under the sea and take pictures and record what you see, and what you find. And the early point in the movie, when the cruise ship that sent him down in the blood of sea was interested in some skeletons, some giant pile of skeletons. Um, and when Markiplier was asked to like, you know, asked to like, all right, show like where the skeleton is, suddenly the skeleton disappeared, which is weird. Um, yeah. He was initially brought back up from underwater, just so the ship crew could attach kind of like a claw thing welded onto the submarine in order to like collect a sample from the skeleton, perhaps. Don't know why, but after the initial deal for Markiplier's freedom was to um just collect data, just take pictures, take notes of what he sees underwater, based on the underwater map, the way he drives the submarine around. Yes, he gets to drive it around. Blindly following just coordinates, that number display of coordinates on the machine, maybe back to back, like he would spam the X-ray photography thing of the ship in order to get his bearings of where he is. There's also a sensor to let Markiplier know if he is colliding with something or something approaching the submarine while he's underwater. So that's how he can navigate through the Sea of Blood and potentially have a sense of where a monster is possibly attacking the ship. So when he first brought back up, we get a bit of lore of get to see like, oh, this ship seems to be well equipped. It's not some broken like rusted ship. It seems to be a well equipped ship. There's also a medical bay. The submarine itself is equipped with a X-ray photography uh uh X-ray power for like photography machine, which we found out because in the state of like distress, being scared and panicking, that he's gonna be sent back down and in the Sea of Blood again. He pressed the photography button uh while uh while inside the ship that housed the the people, and it photographed a few people, and it dealt irreparable damage to them because the large amount of radiation coming out from the flash of the camera basically gave a bunch of them tumors, gave a lot of them cancers, and fuck them up really bad. And Markiplier didn't know that, or Simon, the character, didn't know that because nobody told him that the camera technology is powered by immense amount of radiation. Since, well, he's traveling a submarine with a lot, that going through a sea of blood. Of course, there's no other ways to take photographs other than through the power of X-ray. And yeah, it's kind of nutty. He's Simon is obviously like apologize on first instinct, which gives us that depth of character. Oh, he didn't know that that it was gonna give them a lot of radiation, and if he knew, he wouldn't have pressed it. He admitted he was just scared, and he tried to apologize a bunch of times, even though his captors doesn't seem likely would let him go, and doesn't have like the 100% vibe of like they will let Simon go as soon as Simon do what they ask. Halfway, and then like around the middle mark of the movie, which we the viewers can tell that Simon's time runs out because there are four little lights that shows how much oxygen Simon has left. And yeah, every time the oxygen gets a little bit less, and that's when we know we're at the halfway point. We left with one light of oxygen. Ah, shit. That means we're getting near the spicy parts. The where all the tension that built up for the movie is gonna pay off. Because yeah, halfway, because like when Simon went back down to the Sea of Ocean, wanted to grab a sample from some sea monster skeleton. The skeleton wasn't there anymore, and he tried to look around look around in the entire seafloor to try to find it, and like somehow along the way and encountered the monster and knocked basically gave him a concussion, knocked him out, and like the whole submarine was out of power, and it was breached. The hull was breached, and basically, it was only a matter of time before the submarine will be flooded. But at the time when Markiplier constantly relying on the flash of photography to go underground, not underground, like under the ship, in order to like find the means to fix it. Which he did. He found the means to fix it through like an emergency power thingy. And that's when things get very trippy. Things get very trippy. Um, things gotten very trippy where we don't know what's real and what's not. Uh, the voice the communication voice box, the wires got pulled out, and some ethereal voice is speaking through it because um he found some weird submarine um that's not his, similar to his submarine of a previous expeditions into the Sea of Blood. And he partially hallucinated some weird voice, and he found some weird note that tells him to cross the wires in kind of like a computer terminal, and that computer terminal lit up and got trying to download something from the submarine at like the very very bottom of the ocean depths, the Sea of Blood's depths. And um and at the end of the hallucination, um it seems that yeah, it seems that he was out cold for a few days, with still 1 out of 4 bars of oxygen left in the submarine. And I think part of partial why Simon like has these moments of hallucination is because there doesn't seem to be a filter for the carbon dioxide produced from him breathing oxygen. There's oxygen being distributed in the submarine, but not a system that converts the carbon dioxide Markiplier breathe into oxygen, which can be dangerous if trapped too long. In the hallucination, he also heard a voice that seemingly belonged to the submarine at the bottom of the ocean. They gave Simon some coordinates that, oh yeah, so do you want to live no matter what? And I'm like, yeah, all right, go to these coordinates and see the light, and perhaps that will give you enlightenment and freedom, quote unquote. The light that possibly like started the whole apocalypse for humanity in the first place. A fragment of it of the light or something like that. And in between these hallucinations, there's like a lot of like people speaking, possibly people from the past or people from Simon's memories. We don't know. We don't know to what extent. Um, just that when Simon got in contact with the ship crew again, and talked about the SM8 submarine that he found, the ship crew captain, Ava, got excited and like, okay, we're gonna send you. All right, if you can go back down and download the data from the submarine after I give you access to the computer terminal in the submarine that you're in, and come back up, then yeah, I'll personally come and like fish you out of the Sea of Blood and give you your well-deserved freedom. Spoilers alert. That didn't happen. As he went back down to the depths, the sea monster, um, that seems to be the embodiment of every human soul that died in the depths of the Sea of Blood, wants to trap Markiplier there and not have anyone else see this light that seems to be the cause of the cause of humanity's like near extinction. Because there's data in the submarine pictures and coordinates and logs that could possibly lead to the salvation of humanity. Because the ship captain Ava constantly going like, "This is bigger than us. I'm so sorry, but I cannot save you. I cannot save you. But you gotta fetch that black box, bring it back up to us, and then have the black box secure and like strapped with floaties in order for us to recover the black box, in order to recover the data from the SM-8 submarine in the bottom of the ocean, guarded by some eldritch sea monster that's out to get you." And then as Simon tried to do that, he gets hunted by the sea monster, the eldritch sea monster that has like the consciousness of people who feel salvated, and saying stuff like, "Oh yeah, everyone will be saved by being one with us, by being swallowed, not but being by being part one with us," which implying that everyone who gets swallowed by the sea monster, by the sea of blood, will be saved, quote unquote. Their souls would be saved, perhaps, or something like that. And at the end of the movie, Simon didn't make it, but he did manage to bring the black box, save the black box to be recovered by the ship that trapped him, welded him into the submarine in the first place. Initially, he was feeling hopeless that he's not gonna get saved at all, despite constantly being doing what was instructed. All right, if you do this, then you have your freedom. If you do this, you'll have your freedom. And obviously, again and again and again, Simon doesn't, gets betrayed, and he doesn't get saved and everything. Even though he slowly like seems to have built some trust with between him and the ship's captain Ava, who kept breaking her promises of saying that he will save Simon. In the end, yeah, Simon doesn't get saved, but he did manage to his efforts wasn't in vain, as the black box floated to the surface of the Sea of Blood that got recovered by the ship crew, and then the movie ends there. We don't know whether or not the data in the black box from the both submarines, the SM-8 and the submarine Simon was in, will be able to save humanity, as the submarine was crushed, munched by the eldritch sea monster. And I genuinely love all the little things that they use to build tension, and I find myself like second half of the movie, a lot of time my mouth was just constantly open, just like that. It's just like my jaw just like, oh no, just like, oh my god. I didn't make the noises, but I don't want to make weird noises in the theater. In the theater there was only like 700 people, 700 people, I think, and like thankfully they're not the noisy kind. Everyone watched the movie in silence, munching the popcorn, sipping the drinks, and I had a great time, in that kind of cinema. Would I recommend Iron Lung the movie without ever playing the game? Yeah, yeah. I'm like, for a horror experience, a very claustrophobic horror experience that has like dead human souls contacting the character, and like this horror of like being used and gonna be abandoned by some of the last vestige of humanity in order to save humanity. Even though Simon just wants to live, and not be punished for a crime that he didn't commit, and just be convicted of. And then in the end, he just wanted to spite the Eldritch horrors, like saying, "You're being used. You're gonna get abandoned. Just destroy the black box. They no one else would ever need to see the light. It will end with you, Simon." And Simon's like, "Fuck you, fuck everyone. I'm the fuck everything. This is bigger than me. Like I don't know what to believe in anymore. But I'm not gonna give in, give the satisfaction to this eldritch horror. I rather do with a little bit of sanity and like senses I have, even if I lose every bit of myself, quite literally, I will spite the eldritch horror at the end. Also funny thing that funny little detail that I like from the movie is when the blood from the sea of blood is like flooding into the submarine, and everything gets very very bloody. He has to swim through like literal blood flowing into the submarine in order to get the black box from under the submarine, under the walkway of the interior of the submarine. It was intense. Like the blood seems to have some effects that traps him if he touches the walls of the submarine. And like he had to like rip his arm off in order to keep moving and everything. Oh man, it was insane, and the effects looks amazing, and just oh yeah, the funny thing that I like is that because as the blood, because the whole breach of the submarine, the walls are walls. There are holes in the submarine. The blood from the sea of blood is going in the submarine, and because blood has oxygen, the 1 out of 4 light bulbs that indicates like, oh, you have low oxygen. Suddenly the oxygen from 1 out of 4 lights, it became 2 out of 4 lights. Because the blood that like flowing through the submarine equipment and everything is like, oh yeah, there's oxygen. Yeah, oh ding. Find that a very neat detail. I like that a lot. That's definitely a very memorable little thing for me. I think a lot of people might not realize what's going on with that little detail. But I fucking love that little moment. And yeah, that's gonna be it from me. Please go watch Iron Lung. I hope there's more movies like this to come, where there's so much heart and effort put into it. Um, and just like, I know this is a horror flick. This is a horror movie. True and true, it is a horror movie. Uh, and it's been a while. It's been a while since I watched a horror movie that didn't feel like it's trying to give you the cheap jump scares. It's not trying to be. It's trying to farm like profits or anything. Like there's just so much heart in the filmmaking, the art, the production of it. There's just so much heart in it that, you know, even if I can't make sense of everything that happened in the movie, because you know that's part of the charm of these horror stories, is that you're not supposed to understand everything even after many rewatches. Some chunks and bits of information is there to let you speculate, and you fill in the holes yourself in order to enrich the horror uh that's been presented to you, you know. So yeah, I loved it. I enjoyed it. I would give it a solid 8.5 out of 10. Do I have a 10 out of 10 horror movie? I don't think so. But this Iron Lung is definitely very, very high up there. And it's a movie for people who like is able to put themselves in the shoes of the character, in the situations, and definitely not a lot of hand holding. There's very little hand holding involved. In what the character is doing in the submarine, how is he traveling, how is he using the walls to get out, or how he's planning the routes to while like traveling the submarine and everything. Yeah, yeah, it's just a lot of logic that you just in a situation where you're trapped alone in the underwater in a submarine that you can't see outside of other than relying on the camera flashes. Um, yeah. Um, there's a lot of logic that one would not get unless you put yourself in the shoes of the person, the main character trapped in the submarine, and that's when the experience is really, really hitting the nail. You're just trying to grasp everything you can find to survive, to make your way out of the bottom of the ocean and everything on your own when you're not even an expert in like machines and navigating underwater and everything. You're just trying to grasp every logical straws you can that can increase your rate of survival and bargain for a chance to escape from this hell that you've been forced into. It's just a really, really, really great film, and I hope that people will come back to it you know many years down the line. All right, okay, thanks for listening in. I'll probably play the game soon.